Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'll be so annoyed if Yellowstone's future undoes Kayce's Season 5 ending, so please don't, Taylor Sheridan. If Taylor Sheridan undid the youngest 6th-generation Dutton's Yellowstone ending, it wouldn't serve Kayce's story or the epic saga. In the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, Kayce enacted his plan to sell the Dutton family's land to the Broken Rock tribe. As Kayce finalized the land deal with Thomas Rainwater and Mo Brings Plenty, Kayce proclaimed he was free. Kayce's freedom in Yellowstone was an exoneration for the character, who finally escaped the dangerous legacy the Dutton family had died protecting. While the Yellowstone screenwriter could undo Kayce's ending to continue Yellowstone, I sincerely hope he doesn't. During the outing, the Yellowstone Season 5 finale had a great ending for many characters, including Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler, who moved onto a ranch in Dillon, Montana. The couple's story will continue in Beth and Rip's Yellowstone spinoff, but this sequel may complicate Kayce's happy ending. If Kayce's story continues, whether in Yellowstone Season 6 or another offshoot of the flagship series, it could be tempting to muddle Kayce's freedom, roping him back into the drama of his family's land and the fight that comes with maintaining it. While many found fault with the conclusion of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14, Kayce's ending was a great story that tied Sheridan's Yellowstone series to its prequels. A long list of deaths amassed protecting the Dutton Ranch marks the family tree with tragedy, but Kayce broke the curse by selling the land to Thomas Rainwater and the Broken Rock tribe. The decision freed Kayce from defending his family's legacy and followed through with his ancestor James Dutton's promise that the Dutton family would return the land to Montana's indigenous people in 7 generations. It looked like Yellowstone foreshadowed Kayce's death as he talked to Tate in the family graveyard. However, Kayce's stepping away from the ranch freed him from the cycle of death that plagued the Dutton family. Kayce's family had perished guarding their land for generations, including Lee Dutton's death in the Yellowstone premiere. With a background of studying American Indian representations in the media, I found Kayce's decision to restore the land to its indigenous stewards refreshing, because it's an ending that Hollywood rarely gives us. While yes, we saw it coming, that was the point. Sheridan prophesied Yellowstone's ending in 1883. However, there are a few ways Kayce's story could continue after Yellowstone Season 5's ending, at least within the current landscape. If Beth and Rip's spinoff is forced to become Yellowstone Season 6 because of potential legal battles, then Kayce could rejoin his sister in continuing the flagship story. Alternatively, Kayce's story could continue alongside Thomas Rainwater and Mo Brings Plenty, either in a Yellowstone Season 6 that doesn't involve Beth and Rip, or in an offshoot of Yellowstone focused on the Broken Rock tribe. Regardless of how his story continues, Kayce's remerging in Yellowstone could limit his newfound freedom. One way to continue Kayce's story alongside Beth and Rip requires the siblings to get thrust back into the Dutton family conflict. Likewise, if his story continues alongside the Broken Rock tribe, Kayce could be put back in the line of fire over the land. Regardless, Kayce's continuing story means he will likely be entangled in danger again, and I'm concerned that would undo his ending. At least if Kayce puts himself in danger for the sake of the people who now own the land, he will be fighting for something he fully believes in. One way to preserve Kayce's ending is to feature him in Beth and Rip's Yellowstone spinoff, with the characters focused on motivations outside their family's old battles. This setup would enable Kayce to be featured in Beth and Rip's story, and even embroiled in a new conflict without relinquishing his freedom. Kayce's freedom doesn't mean that he's free from harm. It means he's free from risking his life for his family's land. For Kayce's story to continue satisfyingly, any fight he engages in must speak to his newfound sense of peace and steer clear of rehashing fleshed-out range wars. The best-case scenario could be for Kayce to feature in Beth and Rip's spinoff, rather than any other continuation, since a limited role would allow Kayce Dutton's story to continue without changing his status quo. Therefore, one possible storyline is that Kayce isn't a frequent player in Beth and Rip's story, since Dillon, Montana, where Beth and Rip bought their ranch, is far from East Camp. Kayce's Season 5 ending was a cathartic closing for many fans, so Taylor Sheridan, please don't undo the Yellowstone final. The worst-case scenario would be Kayce finding himself entangled in his family's played-out drama. When it comes to Yellowstone, few characters are as complex and compelling as Kayce Dutton. Over the course of 5 seasons, Taylor Sheridan has meticulously crafted a character arc for Kayce that is both heart-wrenching and hopeful. By the end of Season 5, Kayce's journey seemed to have reached a turning point, offering a sense of closure and peace that the character so desperately needed. However, as rumors swirl about the show's future and the possibility of Sheridan unraveling these carefully woven threads, fans like me are left biting our nails in worry. If Kayce's Season 5 ending is undone, I'll be more than disappointed. I'll be downright annoyed. And frankly, Taylor Sheridan, I'm begging you, please don't do it. Kayce's journey so far. From the very beginning, Kayce has been caught between two worlds, the wild, often violent Dutton legacy and the quieter, more spiritual life he's tried to build with his wife, Monica, and their children. Season after season, this duality has tested him in ways that are both external and deeply personal. We've seen him as a soldier haunted by his past, a husband and father grappling with devastating loss, and a reluctant Dutton heir navigating the brutal politics of his family's ranching empire. Season 5's finale offered a rare moment of clarity for Kayce. After a series of visions and soul-searching moments, he made a pivotal choice to prioritize his family over the Dutton family drama. This decision wasn't just a plot point. It was the culmination of everything we've come to understand about Kayce as a character. He's a man who has lived through hell and back, who has fought to protect his family and his soul, and who finally seemed to find a path forward that felt true to him. Why Kayce's ending matters. Kayce's Season 5 ending felt like a gift to the fans who have watched him struggle and suffer for so long. It was a moment of hope in a series that often feels drenched in despair. It mattered because it showed that, even in a world as brutal as Yellowstone, redemption and peace are possible. More importantly, it set a precedent for the series as a whole. While Yellowstone has never shied away from showing the darker sides of its characters, Kayce's arc suggested that Sheridan isn't afraid to let his characters grow and change. It was a reminder that even in a story as steeped in violence and betrayal as this one, there's room for healing and happiness. The risk of undoing it all. But now, there's a very real fear that Sheridan might undo all of this progress. Perhaps Kayce will be dragged back into the Dutton drama against his will, or maybe new threats will emerge that force him to abandon the life he's worked so hard to build. While these scenarios might provide juicy drama, they would come at a significant cost to the integrity of the character and the story. Undoing Kayce's Season 5 ending would feel like a betrayal, not just to the character, but to the audience as well. We've invested in his journey. We've cheered for his victories and cried over his losses. To see all of that progress erased for the sake of prolonging the drama would be frustrating beyond measure. It would cheapen everything that's come before and risk turning one of the show's most compelling arcs into a hollow exercise in wheel spinning. The case for letting Kayce move on. Instead of dragging Kayce back into the chaos, why not explore what his new life looks like? There's plenty of dramatic potential in watching him navigate the challenges of starting over. How does he balance his love for his family with the pull of his Dutton heritage? What happens when old enemies resurface, or when his new life presents unforeseen obstacles? There's also the question of how Kayce's choice impacts the rest of the Dutton family. Does his decision to step away create a rift with John or Beth? Does it inspire Jamie to make his own bold choices? These are rich narrative threads that could add depth and complexity to the story without sacrificing Kayce's hard-earned growth. Taylor Sheridan's track record. To be fair, Taylor Sheridan has earned a reputation as a master storyteller, and he's rarely let fans down. His ability to craft multidimensional characters and weave intricate narratives is a big part of what makes Yellowstone so compelling. But even the best storytellers aren't immune to the pitfalls of dragging things out for too long. We've seen it happen in other beloved series, Game of Thrones, anyone? And the last thing we want is for Yellowstone to suffer the same fate.